Okay, good morning, everybody. This is my YouTube recorded broadcast. I did a similar one on Facebook. I'm sort of juggling back and forth between these two mediums now. I really want to put it all together. That's what we're working on. But this is the birthdays of Common Sense News and Entertainment. Not born yet, but soon to be. And it's been quite a week. If you actually check me out on Facebook at the big picture on Facebook, or just check out my name, Jason Douglas, over Facebook, and you can see some interesting photos of videos of me getting pulled over again by the this time the Coventry Police Department, and what a fiasco that was. It was pretty bad how I got pulled over. But however, I do have a lot of friends in the police, and I've seen some things on Facebook recently. Honestly, people saying I'm anti-police because I've been pulled over a couple times, and I stood up for my rights a little bit. Not a little bit. Well, a little bit. I caved really, but check that stuff out on Facebook if you want. I'm not bringing it over here because I accidentally bopped an address. Man, my bad. I'm learning. It's a learning curve thing. I don't know how I'm done or anything like that, but I don't want to repost it or anything. I'm not going to delete it because it's got a lot of views, a lot of attention. Really, I think it's like I'm guessing Facebook tells you how many views you got. Once you get to the 4 digits, it just stops telling you, I guess. So I have to kind of work things out with that. However, I want to talk about, first of all, it's beautiful Saturday morning here. Just it is cold though. Cold. 1 degree out there, I think, right now. And I went out there just briefly and so stay warm, Don't want your cats outside. Please don't want your cats outside. Our 2 cats are no indoor cats for the next few days while this Arctic blast goes through and the storm, of course, coming. On Monday morning, most likely, I'm not promising anything, but Monday morning I might be doing Operation Snowball. I might be going out in the heart of the storm to get a couple subpoenas served. So there might be an interesting video. Hopefully, I'll have to make sure everything is, safe, of course. But I'm one of those people that doesn't worry about driving in the snow. I do it anyway. I don't let it change my schedule. Unless I want to use it as an excuse to stay home if I don't want to do anything that day. But otherwise, if I got something I got to do, I'm just going to do it. If it's open to me, I'm still going to go do it. And I think driving in snowstorms is actually kind of cool because there's really nobody else on the road. You kind of, for once, you don't have to worry about traffic jams. You got the road to yourself. Unless it happens during unexpectedly or during rush hour or something. But people are so look, to be honest, the people have become pretty wimpy. I want to use the P word, but I want to stay away from bad language on Common Sense News and Entertainment. So, people have become quite wimpy, actually. They're ready to shut everything down just for an inch or two of snow. Come on, give me a break. Just drive slow and carefully. You know what the key to driving in the snow is? Here's what I tell my kids when I taught them how to drive. Don't touch the pedals, man. Stay away from the pedals. The gas and the brake. Use as little of the gas and brake as possible. Go slow, very little gas, very small amounts, very small at a time. Same thing with the brakes. If you have to slow down, very slow, very light with the brakes. Don't ever hit either one of those pedals too hard at all. If you do that and use them very sparingly and very lightly, even if you start to slip and slide, and oh no, I'm starting to slide, don't panic and slam the brake. Touch it lightly, turn your wheel the opposite direction of where you're turning, and you'll be fine. Even in the worst of road conditions, you can kind of navigate that way. Now, there are situations where roads are impassable, and I've been in those. And there are times I've decided to stay home. I'm not completely out of my mind with it, But Monday, I had this couple people I've been having trouble getting, and most likely they'll be home during the snowstorm, you see. So that's the that's what I call it. I can't say I made up the term. My old boss made up the term. I'm not going to take credit for it, but Operation Snowball is real. And so Operation Snowball on Monday morning, depending on, pending whether I feel like doing it or not. And also how bad the weather really is. But I don't think no matter how bad it was, it won't stop me really. But, I think by Monday morning, this will be wrapping up. But I also want to talk real briefly here about, again, the mentality of emotions, the workings of emotions in the brain. See, here at Common Sense News and Entertainment, we are also mental health experts. Yes, we are. We understand the mental health crisis in this country is real. And I first remember hearing people talk about it in maybe 2012, 13, and it is real. And now it's taken a hold in our politics because we have a lot of unhinged, kooky, far left-wing. They're not really far. I think the people that march in the streets are fighting ICE and everything. I think they think they're doing the right thing. I really do. A lot of them think They really are they're just gullible. They've come to believe the crap on the media that ICE is evil and all this crap, and they're buying into it. And honestly, if I was a little dumber and I bought into it, I'd be out there protesting too. I wouldn't want to see a bunch of Gestapo people coming into my city and pulling my neighbors and friends out. I mean, that sounds horrible, really. And if I'm dumb and I'm buying into this Nazi argument, basically, this Gestapo argument, of course I'm going to be upset in the streets. So what that means is psychologically, what these Democrat leaders are doing is fundamentally criminal. They're psychologically manipulating these people into doing these protests, and it's disgusting. It is absolutely pitiful and disgusting. It is evil on its face, and we need to do something to stop it. Even if it's got to be the Insurrection Act, hopefully it won't come to that. But basically, people these mentally unhinged people have it backwards. Okay, so they're just already angry. They're angry by nature. They're walking around angry all the time. They're angry. Even if they're not immediately, even if they're friends and they're not acting angry, they have this angry disposition about them because of whatever they've been told, whatever they believe. And even if it's a lie, they're putting the cart before the horse. They're putting their emotions before the actions. It's supposed to be the environment that dictates the emotion, not the emotion to try to manipulate the environment. So these people on the left, generally speaking, the far left especially, not the far left leaders know what they're doing. Okay, and they're evil, like Mandami and guys like that. They know they can manipulate the regular people that aren't thinking quite correctly. They're putting their emotions first, and then they look for the whatever facts, if they can find any, that will back those emotions. And if they can't find them, they'll ignore the ones that contradict their emotions. And there's very few that actually do dovetail with their emotions a lot of times. And they twist. That's why facts get twisted, and you hear terms like "your truth." That term "your truth" is one of my pet peeves. There's no such thing as your truth or my truth. There may be your rendition of the truth or your version of the truth, what you think is the truth. But the truth is independent of you. It's not owned by you or anybody else. It is what it is. So this your truth is just a way to let liberals get away with lying. You're supposed to do it the other way around. You're supposed to go along, no, at sort of an even keel. And then something happens that makes you mad. You get mad. Like when I get pulled over unlawfully and detained and yelled at and threatened with violence, essentially, that made me mad, And I was happy. I reacted to it. I was mad. And then some people bounce back quicker than others, but once the event happens, you absorb it, and then you express your anger, hopefully in a civilized and meaningful way, but not in any kind of a violent or immoral way, but in a way that lets you get it out and explain, which I did, and then it goes back to whole home again. And back to the things that make you happy or sad or whatever. You lose a loved one 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now, 3.5 years ago. That's one of my childhood friends. And I'll give you his name, because I can give you his name, because he's passed away. His name is Christopher Bogdan. He and I grew up together. He's a great friend, one of the greatest friends I ever had in my life. And he's passed on because his liver gave out, because he drank too much, man. That's what it is, But he was really the coolest dude ever. And so that made me sad. And I had a sadness period, and then he come back to regular. That's how it goes, and that's why today I'm happy. And so I'm going to end this little recording with a little rendition of a tune I've been picking up on. Hopefully, I think it's the coolest, best Foreigner song for sure. So hopefully you like it. There's a really hard chord in it. I might fuck it up a little bit. I did good that time. Let's see how it goes. Ready? Here we go. They're as cold as ice, willing to sacrifice our love. You never take advice. Someday you'll pay the price, I know. I've seen it before, it happens all the time. You're closing the door, you leave the world behind. You're digging for gold, you're throwing away fortune and feelings, but someday you'll pay. Let's try that part again. Someday you'll pay the price, I know. I've seen it before, it happens all the time. You're closing the door, you leave the world behind. You're digging for gold, you're throwing away. Well, you're throwing away. All right, anyway, that's it. I hope everybody has a great day. Please enjoy this day. Enjoy my little 10-minute clip. And we'll see you soon on the ever-growing and soon-to-be awesome Common Sense News and Entertainment. Bye. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy this cold day. Stay warm. Keep the cats inside.